Hi, welcome to Pass or Play. All right, so now we're Reasonable Doubt, Season 1, Episode 3, titled 99 Problems. And Kalisha, she got a lot of problems. Maybe Ayala can come and fix her life. It's more, of a balancing act. She has a case with Braden. Now it's going to trial. There's a video lease of Braden kissing Kalisha in an elevator. We meet Braden's wife, who's like, "I just want to get out of here," and Jax is like, "No, you gotta stay. It'll make it look bad if his wife doesn't believe that he's innocent. Yes, your husband's a cheater, clearly, but do you believe he's capable of murder?" And uh, and and there is this thing too. You know, um, the NDA being signed. I mean, now, has anybody even checked to validate that it's actually Kalisha's signature? I mean, it's possible. I'm not saying that Braden is the killer, but I mean, just because the NDA was signed doesn't necessarily mean that it was Kalisha that did it. You can find people to forge signatures. So just saying that the NDA was signed so he had no motive. I mean, for the kind of lawyer that Jax is, and she's very intelligent. She's good at what she does. You can just tell by the way in the show just how she's carrying herself. It's like, well, I mean, if with the money he has and the way his house was looking and all that, I mean, you could find somebody to forge a signature. So I don't know, but that's what we're gonna say. And then also to the fact that Braden slept with Kalisha on the day that she got murdered, but also on the day of his wedding anniversary with his wife Sarah that we meet too was okay. It just gets it gets it's This is just interesting. And now let's go to we have Jax and Lewis and the family. Naima has had her period. She's only 10. The doctor is saying it could be due to the hormones that they add in all these food, in the food, and all these chemicals and everything that they be adding into the restaurant food, just the food in general, and being overstimulated, or maybe stress, maybe going back and forth in between the two homes because her parents are still separated, and then it turns out that she may have, she had her period a little bit, I guess, earlier than what's taking place during this episode, because she feels that her mom has been busy with the case and she didn't want to bother her. And Jack's just kind of taking that and just feeling a certain way about that statement. And then we have yeah and then you also have Spencer, who's still kind of giving his mom the cold shoulder. And Lewis is still trying to try to find a way to communicate and talk. And even though in the first review I didn't really say, I mean, again, she is a partner at a law firm, so usually when you're a partner in any kind of job, they have long hours. So I mean, for it, when he initially asked her to make a choice, I mean, she really would have just had to like give up being a partner. Maybe she could have went back to just being like a private lawyer. But usually when you're a partner, they're working like 60, 70, sometimes crazy hours a week versus, maybe the average 40 hours a week that some people may work. But partners, they make a lot of money, but it's a lot of their time is taken up by that position. So maybe he didn't know that when she became partner what it entailed. They don't exactly say when they met too. Assumingly it was after, I guess, sometime after, she quit being a DA, and but either way, yeah, it's just, but anyway, yeah, Jackson's having a hard time doing a balancing act, but yeah. Um and yeah, again, Lewis and Jackson are just having a hard time trying to, speak and get that kind of one-on-one. Um and so, you know, it's kind of fallen at the wayside. He does seem to be a little bit more understanding in this episode, because this heavy case is on the news, everybody knows about it. And I will actually let me speak on the Jax and her girlfriend's dynamic. Is I didn't even mention it in the first review. I honestly don't necessarily care about the girlfriend's dynamic. I feel like that's just more stuff that they're putting, into the things that she, her kind of core people. But I don't really care about anything that's really going on with her particular girlfriend group. I don't know if it's just me, but now the one of her friends in the episode who said like her husband or boyfriend was cheating on her, she's like, I don't feel like eating because my husband is eating this other girl. I thought it was funny, but I didn't I didn't really, I didn't really care. It seems like sometimes they're adding a little bit to her stress too. But I don't really care for the girlfriend stuff. Let me know if I don't know. Maybe I'm just the only one. I mean, I'd have nothing against them. It's just I feel like it's just other stuff to me is a little bit more interesting than just what's going on between that dynamic. And half the times when she's with a girlfriend, she's usually thinking about a case or something. So she's not even within the show, she's not connected really to her girlfriends in a lot of cases. Because of what's going on in her life. So it's kind of hard for me to, as a watcher, to be like, yeah, I really care about this girlfriend clique. It's like she's kind of disconnected even within the show, within the character. So, again, maybe you guys let me know. And then then we got Fallon, Kalisha's friend. I can't remember, was it her friend or cousin or sister? She comes in hot in that scene. She's like, so much for protecting black women. And she's like, I wasn't taking, I didn't have Braden's case at that time. I took it at a later time. And, she, she took the case at a later time. She's really believed that this NDA was signed by Kalisha, which it could have been, but I mean, who knows. And she's like, I just basically, it's like, I work here, don't kill the messenger. She is the criminal, lawyer at that firm. So though she was initially hesitant to take the case, I mean, they didn't seem to recommend anybody else at the firm. It was like it basically would have to be, Jax. It's like, and from this show, it's Jax is who you would want if you do commit murder. And so, and then later on in the episode too, when Jax meets with Fallon and Fallon calls Jax a coon, and she said, "Look, your friend was the one that signed the NDA. Does that make her a coon? Does that make her a gold digger?" Because she didn't cheat with any broke, you know. Shout out to Kanye West. Ironically, in this statement, I'm going to be quiet, but, I ain't got nothing against Kanye West, but I'm just saying, this is called 99 Problems, right? And so, Fallon just isn't really trusting anyone. And then Fallon herself goes down and talks to the prosecutor or the DA, Ruiz, saying, why is the focus on, Braden and not Kalisha and, the murder. And then she gives him the receipts of other, African-American ladies whose cases they still have open and they haven't found any murder suspects for. And he's like, we're working on those. And she's like, look, the justice system has not been very, has been very unjust to people like me and my, me and people like myself and minorities and all that. And, she's like, I'm going to do my own thing, but you keep on doing what you're doing, which she doesn't feel like they're doing much of anything. And then later on in the episode, when she leads that protest, when she leads that protest with all the people, saying Kalisha is just like me. Oh, man, I gotta look at my notes. Saying we are all Kalisha. That was cool. He's like, what are you doing? She's like, taking this into my own hands, mother clucker. Even though now the prosecutor did get the case to go to trial. It's no longer just a preliminary hearing. So now we are going to trial. So we're going to see, what else they can find out. And then now let's go over to also you got Night Patrol Bay Will, who's texting Jax, what's up? Oh, where you? Hey, you up? And he seems to forget that she's married and they're separated, and that was basically just a one night stand. Yeah, she was flirting with him, but he needs to get over it and move on. He seems a little desperate. But hey, even though, hey, that's, she got a nice house, she got a nice job. Maybe he thinks he can be kept. Who knows? What do I know? But, and then you got Prison Bay, Michael Ealy. I can't even think of his name on the show, but you got him. He's dealing with this bias, self-righteous kind of lying parole officer who's just tearing this place up, talking about you failed the drug test, it was inconclusive, and just messing up his room. I was about to say his house at that. He's innocent, right? But messing up his room at the halfway house, just throwing all this little stuff and opening up the little bags and dropping. They just doing it on purpose. And also too, we got the cop who wanna be, who like, and both of him. This okay, so the PO in the scene with Michael Ealy and the cop, the police officer at Braden's house with the warrant when they were, searching his property. They all and trying to be intimidative. Um, kind of these underlining, bias kind of, you know, um, bias, kind of racist little, rumblings, and then, holding, crocking their hands on the side of their hoisting on their guns, trying to intimidate these, the two characters, Braden and Prison Bay. I can't even think of Michael's name. I just named him Prison Bay. I just think because I think it's funny. Um, but yeah, and those two scenes were just, I mean, and of course these things happen, but I mean, a lot of the people in this episode, Theo, the right hand of Braden, his remarks about, black girl magic and having Jax as their lawyer, Daniel, the investigator, going to Kalisha Moore's apartment and having the either the landlord or the I can't even think what that person, like the the apartment manager or whatever, saying the stuff about black people. I mean, a lot of the people in this episode were just saying like under just kind of just like biased racist, just kind of under the cuff kind of statements. And yeah, it happens, but I'm like, a lot of people in this episode were just like kind of showing out, just saying any old kind of stuff, just being comfortable, being too comfortable. But that is the world that we live in. That's not everybody, but that is a lot of people. And it's some people, whether it's people or not, I don't know. But yeah. And then honestly, and then too, somebody had I think there was maybe a comment along who did I think the killer could be. Um, I mean, again, it could still be Braden. Um, it's possible that he could have had somebody sign the NDA, and it's possible that maybe that maybe Kalisha did sign the NDA and he still killed her. Just because he had the NDA sign doesn't mean anything. And also, too, they had that little thing. They had the thing. I thought from the first or the second episode that it could have been Theo, which is Braden's right hand man. He said how he felt that Kalisha was having like some kind of influence over Braden. You know, and so I think Theo could have possibly did it too if he thought that Kalisha was a threat. In the growth of the company or where the company was going, he could do it too. It could also be the wife. Maybe she acting like she didn't know, but she did know. I mean, it could be quite a few people. It could be who you least expect, and also too, let's talk about the first episode. They opened it with her being, tied up to a chair with a gun to her chest, and it looks like it was her apartment, in the middle of the night. this episode didn't touch anything on that. It's possible that something, in these episodes or some character is leading up. It's they're gonna follow up on that, but is leading up until that particular thing of why she's being tied up with a gun to her chest. It could be maybe one of these, one of the characters we're seeing now. It could be a completely different character. Um, and two, we also see with Michael Ealy's character, his friend CJ at the auto shop that they're working at. He's doing some kind of you know off the books, looks like kind of drug deals or something. And Michael Ealy's like, no, I don't want like, don't be doing this stuff around me. I'm like, I got this crooked PO coming after me, and I just got a new one. Jax makes sure that Michael Ealy gets a new parole officer, and now his friend CJ is has had this thing going on at the auto shop where he's doing like side deals late at night. So we'll see where that goes too. And then we basically ended with an an ex-worker of Kalisha, that the investigator Daniel was following, who's not sneaky at all. He's got the window, look, he had a window rolled down on the phone, watching them across the street. And then as soon as they leave, he tries to follow them to like the pawn shop to see what they were doing. And then and the girl's like, I know you following me. And then he gets hands put on him. I'm like, this guy's not very sneaky, even though he was dropping a lot of jokes throughout the episode that I thought were funny too. But I mean, he's good. He's adding some comic relief, but I don't think the show's that dramatic. But I mean, that's just kind of what his character is, like the comic relief. But I do like his character too. But I think, yeah, like I said, I think Theo could be the killer. I think the wife could be the killer. I think it could be Braden, and I mean, who knows? It could even turn out to be Fallon. Maybe she's just putting on a really good show. I mean, you don't know. It may not be the obvious person that people think that it is, and it may be completely somebody different. But they're dragging this, so I don't know if this is going to be like maybe mid-season to the fifth episode, or all the way near till maybe the 10th episode they're going to pull this case for. But Braden do got a lot of things that she has to manage. She got a lot of things she's got to manage, so she's not doing the greatest job, but she's trying. And yeah, she's smoking I think she's smoking weed or a cigarette at the usually at night. If she's smoking a weed, I can understand. She needs to like mellow out. I can get that, so I'm not even really judging that. Um, I think she's just got a lot of stuff going on. So so far for me, this is so far it's good though. It's going in the right direction. Everything is moving. Um, I would say, what do you guys think about the chemistry between Jax and Lewis versus the chemistry between Jax and Michael Ealy's character? Who do you think she has more or less character with? I mean, more or less chemistry with. I would say maybe Michael Ealy's character. She has a little bit more, or maybe it's just the way that Michael Ealy is playing it on his side of it. He wants them to be friends, real friends. I mean, you know where this is going to. You can see where it's going. She said they were just friends. There was nothing. She said they were just patient. I mean, they were just client and lawyer kind of relationship. But like from the moment she got into the prison to see him or to visit him, but in the second episode, you could tell that they didn't really have that vibe. So it may be an itch that needs to be scratched. I don't know. We're going to see. Um, Lewis may or may not be mad about it. Who knows? And then also, too, you have Jax crying, again earlier when Naima tells her, I didn't want to bother you with, what was going on with me because I thought you were too busy. She's crying. And then Lewis just turns off the camera. said no connection. So people are making interesting decisions though. Either way, everybody got something going on, and a lot of it is connected to Jax. And she's it's a lot going on. But you guys, let me know what you think of the episode. Who do you think killed Kalisha Moore? Did I miss anything? Um, but other than that, if you like this review, hit the like button. If you have any comments, comment below. Subscribe. I'm trying to get 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And also check out my other reviews. And I will see you next show. I might do Chucky. I don't know. Let me know if you guys would be interested in Chucky. Reviewing those episodes. Other than the ones I'm currently doing, there will be other shows too. They're actually turning. There was a movie True Lies with by James Cameron. It was with Jamie Lee Curtis, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I really like that movie, and they are turning it into a TV show on CBS. I'm not sure when it comes out, but I actually do want to see that one because I like the movie. That was one. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not even sure when it's supposed to come out, but they've been shooting it. So let me know if you guys would be interested in seeing that too. It's going to be called True Lies. It should be on CBS or maybe Paramount Plus, depending on what they put it on. But let me know if you'd be interested in seeing that or me doing Chucky season 2. There's also a show that came out, was it either last year, was called From, where people get transported to this this town that's like in the middle of nowhere with these like creatures who like eat you. It's on Epics. It's a really cool show. I don't know if that's coming out this year, but it would be season 2. It was renewed. I would probably review that too if it comes out. I don't know if it's going to come out this year or next year, but it's a really good show. It's from on Epics. But anyway, yeah, just let me know what you guys think. Again, subscribe, hit the like button if you like the review, comment below on anything. Maybe I missed something or it's kind of late. So, all right. See you next time.